All right. Welcome, everyone, to Late Night with BS3. And today it's the NFL Divisional Round show. We got a game on right now with the Ravens and the Bills. We also had a game that just ended with the Rams and the Packers. We got great guests going to be coming on the show as well. We got Dentarius Locke will be coming on the show. We got Derrick Branch who'll be coming on the show. We also have Michael McPherson, and we have a pre-recorded interview with Mandelion Newton. He's a Browns fan. He wanted to get on today. Wanted to make sure I got him back on. I mentioned to him that he would come back on the show. So when the Browns won, which they did, but we're going to bring our first guest up here in just a minute. Before we get into anything else, I just want to say that the BS3 Radio YouTube channel is monetized, so you can help support BS3 Radio with super chat or super stickers. That helps us, continue to grow and continue to build. So that's one way you can support. Also, you can support us with on our Patreon, so you can be a Patreon of BS3 Radio as well. I'll have that link. So let's get into our first guest here. Not sure where he went. He was there, but I'll get him on in just a second. Shout out to H-Rap B, also Walter Strong. Thank you guys for coming through and tuning in. What's your thoughts on this playoffs so far? Let me know how you guys are feeling about it. Packers get a win. I'm not surprised there. This game that's on right now, I was thinking would have been a little bit high scoring than what it is. It's 3-3 right now. And honestly, there's a lot of touchdowns that could have been scored. An uncharacteristic of Justin Tucker missing 2 field goals. That is rare. That normally does not happen with him. So that was really weird. Shout out to Courtney Harden. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Bills need to play their game to win. I agree. It's very important. All right, let's bring on our first guest of the show, Dentarius Locke. Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, man?
Good, man. Glad to get you on the show. First time guest. Hopefully not the last time.
So, definitely not.
Definitely. So first, talk about give us a little introduction. Talk about yourself, and are you into podcasting? Do you do a podcast? Do you have a YouTube channel?
Well, I am part of a podcast right now. I'm part of IE Sports Radio. As you can see, I do have the FSU symbol in my back room. So I do a podcast with Fast Break. NBA Fast Break, me and my boy Davison Crooks. I'm pretty sure y'all have seen it a couple times. We talk about basketball probably for about an hour, starting at 8. Make sure you guys tune in. It's going to be tomorrow, every Sunday. Big news like the fact that James Harden just messed around and had a triple-double in his first debut with Brooklyn. Seemed like his whole plan was to do that this whole time anyway. He took off his cape. Now he looks like this whole totally different guy. So, but yeah, so that's the biggest podcast that I got going on right now. I'm still working on my YouTube channel. Black-813 is my Instagram, is my Twitter, as you guys know. And also I go by Dentarius Locke on YouTube. So, but right now, the biggest podcast we do have is NBA Fast Break. With the NBA getting back, it seemed like we had a short break because NBA finals in October, and then we came back a couple months later. Not even that. You still got the NBA draft. We had to do all that stuff. So that's the biggest podcast I have going on right now. Awesome.
Yeah, I didn't know you were connected to IE Sports Radio. Me and Larry B, man. Yeah, me and Larry B, we go back, 3 or 4 years. So that's great. Taryn Rodriguez is tuned in. You probably know him. Set Point.
Oh yeah, he's always tuning in. Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the game from earlier today. Were you surprised that the Packers won?
So I wasn't surprised, but I wasn't expecting it to be that many points.
Yeah.
I was expecting the defense for the Rams to play a hell of a lot better. I'm still trying to figure out why that Devontae Adams was going in motion, in the slot, and Jalen wasn't following him. So I don't know what that was about. I mean, he was going in motion, trying to find the best matchup, and clearly A-Rod see him matched up against Leonard Ford, an outside linebacker, and it's like that's a easy catch. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a surprise. Me as a Bucks fan, I did want the Rams to win, so we win tomorrow, and NFC Championship will be in Tampa. But we played the Packers before. The Rams could not. What was surprising is the Rams could not stop the running game. That was a big shocker to me. I wasn't expecting them to gash them like that. So I knew that this game for them was going to determine two things. The defense had to play well, and they had to run the ball with Cam Akers, Malcolm Brown, and other guys back there. But it's just like they couldn't, they couldn't stop. So
yeah,
it was a shocker by, I guess, the amount that they blew them out like that.
Yeah, and I think the big thing was Aaron Donald was not healthy, clearly. And even if he was, I don't know how much of that would have made a difference, because when you're playing against Aaron Rodgers, none of that really matters. He's just one of those freaking natures. And that fake pass that he did, the pump fake, that had, good Lord, had Leonard Floyd like jumping out of his shoes.
Yeah,
that was crazy. And yeah, Jalen Ramsey was upset. I don't know if he was upset at his teammate or himself, but yeah, I mean, you were following him, so you should have been able to cover him. But Devontae and Aaron Rodgers have been on point, this entire year, and that's the reason why Aaron Rodgers is probably gonna win the MVP.
Yeah, I mean, that connection is lethal. A lot of people had questions to them drafting the quarterback and Jordan Love the first round. Why they didn't go get another weapon, X, Y, and Z. Well, we've been watching. I'm 31, so I remember when the Bucks were in their division, right, playing Brett Favre. And even before that, they were known to having a stout quarterback, right? Remember they drafted Aaron Rodgers having Brett Favre. So them picking Jordan Love is not just about right now. They're thinking years ahead. Now, a lot of people may be like, what the hell are you doing? But, in the future, right now, Aaron Rodgers is having an MVP-like season, like you said. Guess who's sitting behind him watching him?
Exactly. Taking notes.
Yeah, he's taking notes. So when his time comes, hey, we've given you everything that you needed to be successful. We got you an MVP-type quarterback sitting here. We got A.J. Dillon we drafted this year. Then you still got Aaron Jones, who's pretty young. You got your running back. So you're pretty solid. And Aaron Rodgers is so good, they didn't need to draft a receiver first round.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, Tunyon is playing unbelievable. Valdez Scantling can take a slant 80 yards if need be.
Right.
We're not even going to talk about what 17 could do, because he's clearly probably a top two receiver right now in the NFL.
Right. Lazard too. Lazard had a big catch today. And he's making all these people. Nobody knew who Lazard was.
Nah.
Nobody knew who Valdez Scantling was.
Nope.
Nobody was running to get Tongan, especially in fantasy. But if you're on the Packers team, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get some touches. So that's important. Now this game right now that's on. I was expecting this to be a little bit more high scoring. It's 3-3 right now. That was at the half.
Yeah.
So what's your take on this game? Who you got winning second half?
Well, I ain't gonna lie. I want to go on record saying this because I've been talking to my boy about it since he's missed these couple of field goals. I'm probably gonna consider trading or getting rid of Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
Even though he's one of the best kickers ever. I mean, remember I said I'm 31. I remember Matt Stover being in Baltimore.
Right.
You can't miss these. They're supposed to be up 9-3 right now.
Yeah.
Simple. I mean, we can talk about the play that, Lamar Jackson is sitting in the pocket a little too long, a couple of things, but they're in position to score. And there's two chances of scoring, and he missed both of them. So for me, I think this kind of makes sense. The fact it's a low-scoring game. Kind of shocked the fact that Ravens defense is playing better than I thought.
Yeah.
We know how Marcus Peters is. I always give him credit because he has a high amount of picks with 35 or 34. But he does take a risk. No risk and no biscuit type thing. Like Bruce Arians does. He takes a chance, and if he gets it, he gets the pick. But if he doesn't, it's touchdown. So he's playing a lot better right now. Diggs is having a solid game. This game is going to come down to mistakes. And Justin Tucker's already given 2 of them away.
Right.
So right now, if I had to pick how this game is looking, I'm probably going to go with the Ravens. Okay. Because I think at some point they're going to capitalize on not just a field goal. They're going to capitalize and get a touchdown. Once they do that, I think that's when they'll kind of pull away because they run the ball so efficient. You know, they get a couple runs here, runs there. I think it's going to put the Bills on their heels. Yeah. So they have to make a couple plays. And like I said, and I don't want to jinx this, but Marcus Peters continues to play pretty well. He doesn't bite on anything crazy. That I do have the Ravens winning.
Okay. All right. And Taryn just said Bills just scored Allen to Diggs. So they're up 10-3. But it's still early.
So ask Taryn who did he score on? Because there's a chance that what happens is he probably took a chance and boom.
Yeah. The Chargers will happily take Justin Tucker. We don't need the money badger, is what he said. Hey. He's at the end of Justin Tucker. And the thing is, though, he has been missing kicks all year, really. This isn't just now. He's been missing, like, extra points. This is not like him. But kickers, they start to get to this when they get old later in their career, even though he's the most accurate, I think, of all time. But that accuracy is starting to fade away.
I mean, we've seen it from Adam Vinatieri, the guy from he played for the Bucks, Matt Bryant. We've seen it from kickers that were solid, and then over time they start to drop down. But it's like just to think that he missed 2 of them. I mean, even if he scored, it's supposed to be a 1-point game.
Right. Yeah, and to mix extra points like that is not. That's not like him at all. I mean, that's really weird. Huh?
I believe he missed one last week.
Yeah. This is crazy. So let's get to your Tampa Bay Bucks. First off, because I haven't had you on the show before, how did you feel with them getting rid of Jameis and bringing in Tom Brady? Were you happy, sad?
So I'm a diehard Bucks. Like I've always jokingly say on my Instagram, I've always tell people I've been down since '76. Now I wasn't born in '76, but the franchise was. So no matter what happens with my franchise, I'm gonna ride with. Also, to even throw a deeper rod into it, I went to Florida State the same time we won a championship with Jameis. Yeah. So
you got history.
Yes. So I've already know what Jameis was when he was at Florida State. I know what kind of player he is, how to make sure he's successful. He's going to take chances. That's what he does. My problem was, and I'm not even going to, we got Tom Brady. I've seen Jameis with us for 5 years with 5 different offensive coordinators. 2 of the same one time. The one year that he went to the Pro Bowl, we had Doug Martin go for 1,300 plus yards, which is what he needs. When we won a championship here, we had 3 running backs with a real solid defense, right? Matter of fact, we'll talk about Jalen Ramsey. He was a freshman on that team. So for me, I'm all about building the franchise, not just expecting the player to do everything. It bothered me because I felt like they didn't give him a fair shot of, okay, you know what? We're going to build around you. Build around you and then move forward with you and then see what happens. That didn't happen. They got rid of him early. He threw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions, of course, in this system. I did my research and knowing that every quarterback under Bruce Arians first year, they throw a career high of interceptions. That's just what that is. Big Ben did it. Andrew Luck did it. Peyton Manning did it. Peyton Manning had 28. So when I see that, I'm thinking to myself, like, well, okay, this is 1 year. Get some guys around them, build and see what happens. Didn't do it. So I was kind of bothered about that. Now, I couldn't be mad we got Tom Brady, though. I mean, you didn't put this a Band-Aid over my scar. You kind of put like some Vaseline on it. You kind of took care of it. You know what I'm saying? I really was like, dang, you got Tom Brady, and then it's like, I still want us to have James, but then the other stuff started coming. Okay, well now we're gonna get Gronk. Okay, I kind of can rock with that. You kind of selling me good right now. So now the Jags are trying to trade Fournette. Whole draft, I'm like, man, listen, when you trade that third pick for Fournette, blah, blah, blah. So we end up not doing, end up getting him. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of rocking with this, Now, the biggest of them all, Bruce Arians was not from the AB. He doesn't deserve on his team. He's not going to work. He's a cancer to the organization, to the franchise. A couple weeks later, he's on the team.
Yeah.
So now I'm feeling really good now because Bruce Arians had a lot to say about Jameis and said he made a lot of decisions, but clearly this was Tom Brady's doing. So come on, dude with the 9 Super Bowls. I can't be mad at us picking him. I was 11 when we actually 12 when we won Super Bowl in 2002. Like I remember to have the DVD. I remember that year, and all that other good stuff. For us to go to a Super Bowl this year in Tampa, I don't know what can happen else in my life that to be that high. So this season has been up and down. I try my best to not be very biased. So when we did play against the Chargers, who had a rookie quarterback start, played against the Broncos, who had their third string quarterback start. We played against the Lions, who had half of their coaches out due to COVID. I didn't feel like that was a playoff team just yet. I feel like we have a lot to go, but I wanted Jameis. Was pissed off about it. Still a little bothered about it, but I'm very good with Tom Brady.
Yeah, and Tom Brady, like you said, has been to so many Super Bowls, and he brings something with him. And it was a Tom Brady effect. When it came to AB, yeah, maybe Bruce Arians didn't want him, but Tom Brady came in there like, hey, it's me, Bruce. Bring him in. He's gonna stay in my pool house or whatever, and we're gonna make this thing happen. And you see that you haven't heard a peep. You haven't heard anything out of AB. At least I haven't.
No.
So I mean, he's focused and he seems to be, ready to go. Now, let me give a quick shout out to Vernon Ricks, aka Chief Rocker. He's he was asking why this dude interviewing with his shirt off. He said it must be. I was
actually about to go get my Bucks sweater.
Oh, yeah, you good.
So
you good.
I know. I'm glad he said that. I definitely had to grab my Bucks, talking about my Bucks.
Right. So this game tomorrow, it's like battle of the old quarterbacks. You got Tom Brady and Drew Brees. Both of them are towards the end of their career. Obviously, Drew Brees said he is going to be going into broadcasting, so he's going to be out of there. But what's your what's your take on having these two quarterbacks and what they're going to do tomorrow in this divisional game?
Well, to be honest with you, these guys have been around for a while. Obviously, we see the resumes between them, which ones are better put together as far as what they've done playoff-wise. I think I did see a picture of like two old guys, great going against each other. This is going to be a game that we're going to be talking about Tigers. I remember when I was I'm pretty sure you remember watching the Men and Brady every year, posting pictures. That was like you would literally wait for that game. It used to be later on in the season. I think this is something that now. I don't know
if you could move back to where you were before, it's kind of breaking up a little bit.
Oh, you can hear me?
I can hear you, but it's breaking up. The other room you were in, I think it was more clear.
It was better?
Yeah.
Actually. All right. Yeah. Now?
Yeah, it's better. It's a little choppy.
Actually, I'm gonna put you on my. Let me grab this.
We got Dentarius Locke on the show. We working out. Okay, I think we good now.
Okay, you can hear?
Yeah. I think we good now.
You know what? Okay. So I just think that this is gonna be. This game could be high scoring.
I agree.
It could be very high.
I agree. Yeah, I think when it comes down to these two QBs, you know, both of them have tons of playoff experience. So it's not as if, you know, haven't been in these situations before. It's just a matter of who's going to make least mistakes. And I'm not a believer of Breeze at this point in his career. He's been having a difficult time making throws. Obviously, Alvin Kamara is a big part of this game, a big part of this team now. But can he make the throws that Tom Brady's been making? Tom Brady really – he's made a little bit of a drop off, but I don't think it's been so drastic, kind of like what Drew has done. You still there? All right, looks like Locke may be frozen. I'm not sure. We'll try to get him back on here in just a minute. Diggs scored on the whole defense. Yeah, Diggs is having one heck of a year. Shout out to James Montgomery. Let's bring in Locke back in.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I had to do a little switch on my internet.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I said high scoring, right? So yes, I think this is going to be north of 30. I'm hoping it is too, the way my defense is playing. But it's good to see these two guys go back and forth. I don't think this is the Drew Brees that we're used to, though.
I agree.
So for me, dude, we used to go 1-1 with Jameis. We used to go 1-1 with the Saints. So, and I think that this game is gonna it depends on a lot of things happening. I think Todd Bowles is gonna play a huge part as well. I think it's gonna be a little bit bigger than just the duo of Tom Brady and Drew Brees going against each other.
Yeah. Todd Bowles is a great addition, man, especially having that defense. Being that he just was a head coach, you know, we forget he was with the Jets. So, but his defense is his specialty, and this defense, you're right, has been playing better. And I think you guys are going to get the win. Honestly, I think the Saints are gonna hit this roadblock here, and I don't think they're going to be able to withstand it. So, you know, we'll see. And while I'm talking right now, there's a fumble or interception, and the Bills are taking it back to the house. They're about to go up 17-3.
Wow.
Yeah. Was that it was a pick six. So 17-3. Third quarter is almost over with. I love Lamar, but this Bills team, and I'm going on a tangent a little bit, but this Bills team is on a mission, and they're gonna meet the Chiefs. And that it's just the way, you know, storybook type of, you know, seasons go. They're gonna meet the Chiefs in the conference championship game, and I think that's what's gonna end up happening.
Do you think that the Bills have a chance?
I think they do. Yeah, I think they do. I think the Chiefs haven't been been just blowing guys out. They haven't really been consistent. Now they are a great team, no doubt, but I think they get so confident and cocky sometimes that they just kind of play around.
Yeah. So I have a thought process of thinking that the Chiefs and the Packers are built the same. I mean, that is, which it is hard, but if you can run the ball on the Chiefs, then you have a chance. I think a lot of people are overlooking tomorrow's game because the Browns defense going against, you know, the great Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce and Tyreek. But if the Browns can if they can run the ball, because the team that gave the Chiefs problems was the Raiders.
Right.
Because they can run the ball, right? They can run the ball. All you need is to run the ball, make a couple plays, a couple stops on defense, and now you're in the game. Now they go up by 21. Now you can't run the ball. Now you're screwed. But if they can, keep the game kind of close, and then all right, boom, now we finna hit them with a play action, whatever, you have a chance. But the Bills, they're built. Sean McDermott was the Panthers D coordinator when they went to the Super Bowl. So This is not a shocker. Josh Allen is playing very good. I think he gets extended at the end of this season. So for me, I got the Chiefs going, but I think it's going to be a little bit tougher than what people believe.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to have a Browns fan. We actually did a pre-recorded interview, so we'll have an interview with Mandelion a little bit later, so you guys will be able to see that. But okay. Yeah, it's going to be a good game tomorrow. I'm not saying that it's going to be a blowout, because I think the Browns throughout this year they've built more confidence, and I don't think they're going to be afraid at all. Right. And who knows? We've seen weirder things happen. And if the Chiefs play around, and if they get into a situation where they're just allowing, the Browns to put up points and they just hope to come back, or they just hope to, pull out a victory, they can't. I don't think they can go into it like that. It's the playoffs now. Everybody else is up in their game, so they got to make sure they up theirs. Yeah,
I mean, that's just how I feel like, and that's even with the Bucks and the Saints, right? One thing we've seen in the Saints recently is they struggle in the playoffs. It's kind of like they peaked too early. I don't know how. Well, we do know how they lost to the Vikings that year with Diggs making that catch.
Right.
And then you come back and lose to the Rams by, I think, the penalty that'll happen at the end. And then again, you lose to the Vikings, Kirk Cousins, the Vikings. Like, that's one reason why I give us a legit shot. And it's not me being biased. I just think that the Saints are not the same team that they are in the regular season. They, are a totally different team. So I expect it to be something totally different come tomorrow. But also, our defense got to make some stops, man. Our defense is the thing that worries me the most. Defense and the play calling by the offense, like, it gets kind of shaky for me. You got to be able to run the ball with Tom Brady. He's very well with the play action. So if you don't try to get the running game established, the time we played against the Chiefs, we didn't run the ball. The time we played against the Rams, we weren't trying to run the ball. So the Saints, both times we played against them, we had a game Sunday night in Tampa. I believe it was Sunday night. We ran the ball 4 times the whole game.
Wow.
So that tells me a lot. And Bruce Arians, even in Arizona, even in Indianapolis, did not like to run the ball. So that's what you kind of expect. But with a player like Tom Brady, you got to be able to adjust to his system as well. You just can't say, well, you're just going to, get in my system and do it my way. Dude's been in 9 Super Bowls.
Right.
So he knows kind of what he's doing,
Yeah.
I feel like if we can run the ball tomorrow, if we can legit run the ball, keep the defense off the field as much, and Todd Bowles stop blitzing every play, we have a chance. But if you want to blitz every play and then either blitz or then drop back in zone and have these little bubble, playing these zones, these little Tampa 2 defenses, Drew Brees is going to shred that.
Yeah.
So we seen the same with the Bears did it last week. The Bears, when they were in zone, Drew Brees shredded them. When they played man, it's a little different scenario. Right. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Matt Nagy. I'm sure that's probably not Matt Nagy. Thank you for coming through. He said, "Go Bucks." So he's a Bucks fan. He also said, my team beat the Bucks. I hope they win the Super Bowl. So Shout out to you. Thank you for coming through. Did y'all see the pick six? I did not see it, but I did see the guy running back. So whatever happened, you're right. That's a game changer. Chiefs about to take care of business. Just don't. Only thing I'll say is do not see this as a Chiefs blowout because they've played around. I need them to. I need to see them take care of business early. Like, don't play around with this game because
jump out and hold.
Yeah, you're right. Jump out, get that lead, and hold it. Chief says KD had 42 tonight, and then Harden had 32, 14, and 12. And I think Harden took off that fat suit because Harden was looking chubby as hell.
I know. That's what I'm
trying to do. Then he show up looking skinny.
I'm trying to get on his workout. Whatever he did, I need to do that. How you come back all of a sudden and look like a totally different person? Exactly. So it's like he's been planning this whole time.
I know. And I know he's been wanting to get out of here. I know he's been wanting to get out of Houston. And when he did leave, or when he did finally get out of there, I'm sure he was just like, I'm getting ready to take this fat suit. Like he had a pillow under his stomach or something.
I know, right? Yeah.
Like, exactly. I'm gonna take this off and then I'm gonna go ahead and come here and be ready to go. Let's see. We got this comment. If Chiefs get ahead quickly, the game is over. They will force Baker Mayfield to play catch up. The Browns have to run the football, try to hit the Chiefs off the field, but it doesn't matter. No lead is safe. I agree.
It's true.
And definitely getting out, quickly is great. And I think that's important. Let's bring on our next guest. If you got time, you can still stick on, or if you got to run, no problem.
I'm good right now. Probably be on for a couple minutes.
Okay, cool. All right, let's bring on Yad Vibes.
What's going on?
Michael McPherson, what's going on?
Not much, man. How you guys doing?
How you doing, man?
Good. So we got Dentarius Locke, aka Locke. He's the Bucks fan. We got Michael. Michael's not a fan of any team that's in the playoffs right now, but I wanted to get him on. My team isn't either. I'm a Cowboys fan, so I can't talk that much. But I wanted to get him on. What's your thoughts on the game so far right now, and the game from earlier today?
Oh man, I was kind of disappointed with the game. I was hoping for a higher score, but I mean, I wasn't surprised with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the man, he never ceases to amaze me. He just always does something spectacular every single time he touches the football. So
yeah,
that I was expecting, but I thought, because from what I seen from what the Rams did to the Seahawks, I figured they was going to try to do that same thing with the Packers. But then I had to look at it from a different standpoint and saying the Packers have their balance. They have defense and they have offense. And I think that's what the Seahawks was missing. There wasn't balance with their team. They were so dependent on Russell Wilson that, when it came to it, I figured they wear them down. And, that's what happened. But today's game, I wasn't too surprised. Aaron Rodgers, being Aaron Rodgers, wasn't too surprised with that.
Yeah. Somebody, Matt Nagy or whoever that is, said Harden was built like Creamy Bigums.
Yes,
it's true. Carnell Watkins, James Harden put the okie doke on him. He took off that Sherman Klump suit and bailed out. Yeah, he did. Balled out. He showed up. He looked like a completely different person. And then breaking news, Lamar Jackson is going to the locker room. It looks like he is hurt. RG3 is in the game, and they're in the end zone. It might even be being a safety. Okay, he got out of the end zone. But this game is about to get out of hand. It's about to get out of hand. Lamar's not playing. It's about to get out of hand.
Man,
real quick.
I hope he's not hurt too bad.
Yeah, I hope so too.
That game is over. I mean, hopefully he's not hurt, but it's to the point now where the Bills they're about to try to end this quick.
Yeah, fourth quarter, their kicker can't make a kick, which is we talked about that earlier. That's just a rare situation. That's like Vinatieri missing kicks. That's like one of the best kickers in the game, just missing kicks. Like I don't know. I don't even know what you say about that. But they still wouldn't be winning though, even if he did make those kicks. Go ahead, Michael.
No, I was saying it was crazy. I'm watching the game. It was like the first field goal he missed hit the left post, and then the next field goal he missed hit the right post. And it was like, yo, the next one got to go through the middle.
He makes the third one, but you left 6 points on the board.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what is it? That'd be 9-17 right now. Still one possession game.
Right.
At the end of the day, so they lose this game. Let's just say they lose this game by less than 9. If that happens, he's not going to end it. He's not going to end it like here. The end of it. They'll talk about this throughout the offseason. Now they're not going to come, but they'll definitely talk about it.
Now he got over the hump and got a win. So people are going to give him some. They got to give him some respect for that. But I wasn't going to see them getting past the Bills. The Bills are on a destiny right now. Like this is just one of those things that you can't get around. It's just they're on a mission. And actually that's Tyler Huntley that's in. So RG3 is not in. Sorry, it's Tyler Huntley. I didn't even know he was on the team. So that's news. That's news for me. But
they just picked him up.
Yeah. So what's you guys' thoughts on Lamar, going into this offseason? But if they don't win, and what do the Ravens need to do? That would be my question, because you got Dobbins, and Mark Ingram didn't even suit up today. He was a healthy scratch. You got wide receivers. Is it the defense that they need to work on? Is that what it is?
For me,
yeah,
I think that they need to broaden that offense. You remember we did see Lamar Jackson do this when he first got in. Usually you remember I'm pretty sure you guys remember the Wildcat and the whole chip kill pass offense. Everybody was talking about how good it was. That only lasted like a year or two. Like once teams start to adjust, you have to adjust to it. I feel like Lamar Jackson is he's a better quarterback, obviously, when he came in, but it doesn't have to. That offense shouldn't rely on his legs and just, all right, we're going to go power I and go right up the middle with J.K. Dobbins, Mark Ingram, and another running back. I think there's more that need to be done to that offense. Hollywood Brown he hasn't lived up to that first round pick yet. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think he's playing good, but I think that their best receiver, pass catcher on that offense is Mark Andrews.
Right.
That's awesome. Yeah, Andrews.
Yeah. So, and I don't think that is Hollywood Brown's fault. I think that it's more so of where they're dialing up. I think this is the same offensive coordinator that was in San Francisco when Colin Kaepernick was there. So, you have a couple of things that you have to do, but even then he had a 6'5" receiver, Michael Crabtree. He had a solid tight end in Vernon Davis. I think Frank Gore was there at the time. So, and obviously Colin Kaepernick with the mobility. So for me, I feel like the defense is solid, but you need to do more. It's like they did something with Derrick Branch, and then all of a sudden he's nowhere to be seen. Like, I think he need to be a little bit more involved, not necessarily your best catcher, but at least show something different. Because, I mean, you can do this running all day, but once a team that has a powerful front seven that wants to stop that, they start to slow that down. You're putting that defense that you have at risk. You can put the 85 Bears defense on the field, and they can keep shutting teams down. But if you keep them on the field more than the offense is on the field, they're going to give up points eventually. So, for me, I think that they need to widen the offensive playbook a little bit more. It just seems like they're just like, all right, well, we're just going to run the ball with Lamar Jackson and, just do this out formation, straight up the gut stuff. And if it works, all right, perfect. And just have teams slow it down. But when teams start to slow it down, now you have how tall is Hollywood Brown? 5'10", 5'11"?
Yeah, not tall at all.
Yeah, 30-16. Okay, you want to make sure you don't want to go to him. All right, we're going to put a safety blanket over Mark Andrews. So that's what I believe in, that that offense. It needs to be broadened just a little bit more. Bring some more offensive weapons in there.
Yeah, and Hollywood Brown is 5'9".
There we go.
I would have thought he was taller than that, but wow.
Listed. That doesn't mean he's 5. He's probably my height, probably about 5'7". You know, about 5.
They exaggerate. They exaggerate. Yeah.
So you gonna measure him with the cleats on. So, but it's I don't know. Go get you a Jamar Chase from LSU or something like that. Go get you a tall guy that you can put across the middle that can do some damage, because Willie Snead is not the answer. My gosh, he's not.
Yeah. Shout out to Antoine Howard. He said, my city going crazy. He's from Buffalo. So, yeah, man, if they win this game, this is a long time coming, man. They have been grinding it out for so many years. Bad quarterbacks, bad coaches, bad organization for so long. You know, since Kelly. Since Kelly, that was the last time they had a real legit quarterback, and now they got one.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead, Michael. What were you gonna add?
No, I was saying, because I'm looking at all the receivers that are coming. I don't really see that many big receivers that are coming in the next upcoming draft. I don't really see. There's not any receiver that I'm looking at that are over 6 foot tall that I can say, okay, you can throw it up there and he's gonna go get it. Because every receiver, I think they're more off that Tyreek Hill type of skill set. You know, they're fast, run a great route, but you can't lob it up and say, go get it and grab that. And they only have a few receivers in the NFL right now. Hey, Metcalf and Hopkins, and I might be missing somebody I can't think of right now. But you look at, like you said, look at the Ravens. What was the point of signing I can't think of his name. From the Cowboys. What's his name?
Yeah. Dez.
Right. Like, what was the point of signing him if you're not going to implement him? Because you know Dez Bryant is a deep threat in the end zone. You put him back there in the back corner of the end zone, he's gonna give you a good shot at catching that ball. So it's going back to, you have to open up that playbook. I mean, I get it. Lamar can break tackles. He can, but to a certain point, when they're gonna stack that box, to a certain point, you have to open up that offense so you can run the ball. Because if I'm game and I know 85% of your plays is going to be running, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to stack that box and I'm going to
exactly
waiting for you. And then once in a while, you throw one little screen route on the outside, and then it's like, come on. But they have to open up the offense, man. They can't just make him just be run, and then maybe pass. They have to the offense for Lamar. And he's just going to be another player that's a great athlete. He's not going to be a great player. He's just going to be another great athlete. And you don't want that to be your legacy. And he just turned 24 a couple of days ago. So, I mean, obviously he's still got some time to develop, but I think that's with the coaching. You have to open up that playbook for him.
Yeah. I agree. Let me read this comment. Seems like Lamar Jackson needs to get a new center. That ball has been everywhere tonight. That is true. Like he's had to pick the ball up off the ground, scramble, run. The other time the ball was too high. I mean, he's having to play like Harlem Globetrotters as a quarterback, basically.
He's in the wrong sport right now. Yeah,
get a dude a chance. Lamar Jackson is pulling a Cam Newton, says Matt. Ravens defense isn't a problem. They're only giving up 10 points. Lamar needs an O-line. I think that is a true statement. And the thing is, he's not. I mean, there are some design running plays, but sometimes it breaks down. And he has no choice. So, like that's probably a true statement.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I feel like it's 80% run, and then 20% pass. I mean, then when you do pass, it's like, okay, we're gonna pass the ball and we're gonna go deep, or we're gonna do a slant to Mark Andrews, but you don't have that other big receiver. That you don't have a possession receiver.
No.
Because all the work that Mark Andrews is doing is across the middle with the linebackers and the safeties. Like, there's no, all right, I'm on the left side of the hash marks, and it's just me in the corner with the big receiver. You don't have that. You can do the same thing with Mark Andrews. Like I said, you got, remind you now, this is not college, these linebackers can give you a 4-4, 4-5. So you literally have a big safety playing linebacker. Then you got a safety behind him. So the work that Mark Andrews could be the crispiest runner ever. But if you have a linebacker who was just about as fast as a Jalen Ramsey, and then you got the safety coming down, you can't rely on that.
Right.
The difference between them and Mahomes or the Chiefs, they got a receiver that literally runs track in high school, literally could be an Olympian if he really tried to. So he's already threatening you downfield. He's keeping your safety honest, regardless of what you do, right? So then now we say, okay, well, they got Travis Kelce. Okay, Travis Kelce is, let's say he's very similar to Mark Andrews. You still got Sammy Watkins on the other end who can run routes. Now you added a catching back and both Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and you have Le'Veon. So the difference is this offense has so many other pieces. Now, a lot of people could say, well, Mahomes has a better arm, such and such. Well, one reason why his arm is getting better is because who he's throwing to, right?
Right.
Willie Snead is not a receiver. Like, for me, he's not that guy. He wasn't that guy in New Orleans.
Yeah, he was an after effect. He was,
yeah.
He was behind, but they didn't have Emmanuel Sanders then, but they did have somebody else.
They had somebody else that I know you're talking about. They had somebody else.
Some other guy, and there was probably somebody else that basically Drew Brees just found and would throw the ball to. So yeah. And somebody says sign Allen Robinson. Shout out to Doc Bell. Thank you for coming through. Two people said sign Allen Robinson. That's a good pickup. Let's look at these names. Potential options for free agency: Juju, Allen Robinson, Kenny Galladay.
Oh, Kenny Galladay, yeah.
Those are good options. I don't know. Juju. I like the guy.
I'm not.
He's not going to be with the Steelers after this year. That's a fact because they don't pay. They don't pay.
Oh well,
They don't pay guys. Like they let AB and Le'Veon Bell go within a matter of a couple of years. So, and Juju put them in a bad situation. Let's all just be honest. I mean, people say, "Oh well, just because he did that, just play harder." Nah, sometimes you talk and they gotta make sure you shut up. So that's that part of it. But I think Claypool, the emergence of him, Deontay Johnson, and they got James Washington, and they're probably gonna draft somebody this year. So I don't know.
Yeah, they need to. The Steelers. I mean,
back, man. I think it's time.
It's time.
I think it's time. Ben, I think it's time. I don't. You know what it is? Because I don't think Tomlin has had his quarterback because he came in and Ben was.
Yeah.
So he had to play with that system. So I don't think he's had his say okay, this is the quarterback that I'm running with. Even though he's a defensive-minded coach, I still don't think he's that, okay, this is my quarterback. Even though he's on. I can see from how the way Ben was playing, and it's like Ben don't have that. He doesn't fear, when I remember when Ben used to play, other players used to fear him because he was big. It's like, look at this big quarterback. He's 6'5", but built like a linebacker. And it's like, you can't bring him down. But you look at him now, he's built like a teddy bear. He's like, I'm not worried about you now.
He can't move.
He was mobile. That's the thing. He was mobile back then. Now he's a standing teddy bear. He's gonna get hit. It's just a matter, can he shake off the hits? And it's it, man. They need to come to him and say, which the problem is his contract. It's like dead cap money, if they cut him or so. I mean, if you just got to cut bait and deal, try to draft somebody and you can start them or have Mason Rudolph maybe start some games. But I don't think they're gonna push him out, even though that's what they should do. I don't think they're gonna do it.
Nah, the fact that how many titles he have with them too. It's just the fact that he came in. Remember, he was in that class with Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers.
Right.
So, they have to draft a quarterback this year, I think. And this is the year to do it. A person that I just thought about it wouldn't be bad. There is Mac Jones.
True.
I mean, he's not he wouldn't be a bad fit there. Another one is Kyle Trask. but they need to at some point move on from Big Ben. I mean, dude looked terrible against the Browns. Like,
through 68 times, by the way.
Yeah,
68 times.
Threw the ball that many times is insane. And I know, Juju did all that talking, but dude, you can't throw 3 picks in the first quarter.
That's true.
Right.
to not to third or fourth string cornerbacks. Not the first stringers, right? Some of these cornerbacks they picked up off the street. The Bucks just chopped MJ Stewart probably last year. They had that dude out looking like a Pro Bowler. Big Ben had him looking like a Pro Bowler. So again, yes, the Steelers, they probably need to. Now, what they could do, they could look into getting Carson Wentz.
Yeah,
that's what they could do.
Because I think that might match up.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz is going to be out of there. I'm saying the Colts, which a lot of people are saying that Frank Wright is there. To me, that seems like a perfect marriage. But sometimes marriages don't work out. So, he could, depending on how this thing goes, he could go to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's got the 24th pick, in the first round. Who's going to be there? You make Trask will probably be there. Mac Jones will probably be there. Possibly Trey Lance. I know people got Trey Lance really high, so he may not be there. But there will be a quarterback there that could probably play, day one. Yeah. There'll be a little bit of struggles, but or just have him sit behind Big Ben, for the first 6 weeks. And then week 7, bring the guy in. You can do that too.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of money. That's the thing as the Eagles. I wouldn't want that job. I mean, I feel like you're stuck in a scenario where obviously Doug Peterson wanted to probably get rid of Wentz, and they wouldn't have it. So now you're in a scenario where it's like, okay, well, if I go here, I'm kind of stuck with having Carson Wentz. So now I gotta probably move Jalen Hurts. But clearly Jalen Hurts is the guy. I mean, if you ask me, there's no question that I would have had to take that dead cap money and be like, look, Wentz, you gotta go. Like I can't. The way Hurts looking right now, I'm about to build around this dude right here. I'm gonna go draft Devontae Smith, and that's gonna be that simple.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be kind of interesting to see how it plays out because that's a lot of money, man.
Yeah, $40 million. Big Ben is owed $40 million next year. That is crazy. But at the time he signed that, a lot of people were the Steelers organization was like, we want you here for life. Until you retire or die, we want you here. And I mean, that's been their guy. Shout out to Tracy Porter. Thank you for coming through. Will Fuller. These are some other free agents. Matt put in Will Fuller, Sammy Watkins, T.Y. Hilton, AJ Green. T.Y. Hilton fell off a cliff. Like that dude was a Pro Bowler. And I guess it was Phillip Rivers coming in or maybe Frank Wright coming in. He just basically got deleted out of the offense. Yeah.
Mr. Check Down. That's who it was. Phillip Rivers, Mr. Check Down. Mr. If I throw it deep, it's getting picked off. So it was like I play FanDuel a lot. I'm not sure if you guys play FanDuel a lot, but I play it during the football season a lot. And I would literally pick T.Y. and he would finish with 6 points.
Yeah.
3 catches and 20 yards. But the running backs for the Colts now, 7 catches, $150. Tight ends will have 4. Trey Burton would probably have 2 touchdowns and all this other good stuff. It's are you scared to throw it deep? So I think that Phillip Rivers had a huge, piece to play with that. Because even with Frank Wright with Alshon, I think Alshon had a pretty solid season. Where Frank Wright was the OC over there in Philly. Yeah. So
that was when it worked out best for Wentz. That's the thing. When Wentz, I think that Super Bowl run wasn't Wright his QB coach. And that's kind of where he really started to blossom. Now, which I think they had some inner disagreements, within the Eagles, and that's the reason why the coach is gone. That's why Doug is gone. But I think, Hurts is the guy. Whoever made that decision is probably the person that's still there, and that's the reason why Doug's gone. Shout out to Mandel Newton. We got an interview we're going to play for him later on in the show. Shout out to Diego. Thank you for coming through. A lot of mock drafts have Matt Jones in the top 10.
Woo!
That's a little high. Even though he had a great it's the thing. Even though he had a great national championship game, this is still Matt Jones, and he is not a top 10 talent. I think he's a first round talent, probably later, maybe early second. But is he a top 10? That's reaching.
Is he better than Trey Lance? Zach Wilson?
And what? Okay, look. What is the amazement with Zach? I don't know what it is. I haven't seen it.
Numbers. I think it's just his numbers, but he didn't play anybody. But he kind of reminds me of McMahon, quarterback for the Bears a while back, with the hair, all the other good stuff.
Yeah,
but I haven't seen anything. I have to look at his games to see. Yeah. But I have a group chat. I'm a diehard Gator fan, even though I went to FSU.
Really? How did that work out?
It was a stressful thing. Overtime, I literally had to get used to being like in Tallahassee, because it was like, am I really going to this campus? Like, seriously? So
you must have got a scholarship or something.
Yeah, so I went to Tennessee first. Ran track at Tennessee. I have family from Knoxville, so that's the main reason why I went there. And I tried to transfer out, but the rule is, transfer-wise, if you try to transfer in conference, you got to sit out a year. I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. I already sat out a year before. So, and then the head coach here went to the same high school I went to in Tampa, and then the sprint coach here is like one of the best. Or he was here. I came over here, and I knew when I was signed, I was like, yo, like, this is going to be like the most awkward thing ever. The worst time of the season is literally Thanksgiving weekend, because that's when Florida and Florida State play each other every year.
Yeah. So
I used to just, kind of be like, man, let me get to myself and watch this game by myself. Not with my teammates and nothing like that.
Right.
We about to be boxing up in here. We somebody feels some type of way. But what I was also in a group chat with a couple other guys, and I was talking about the Zach Wilson thing, and they said, well, let's look at who he played. He didn't play anybody, but his stats are his stats are literally there. Mm-hmm. So that may be a reason why people talk about him.
Yeah, that's probably why. Shout out to Overton Claiborne talking with OC. He is the Baltimore Ravens fan. He said Baltimore is going fishing. That's what it looks like. Give us an update, OC, on Lamar. What's going on with Lamar? Because the way he was walking to the locker room, it did not look good. So I don't know what the deal is. Zach Pascal is really taking care of the wide receiving core in Indy. That's good to know. All right, so
concussion.
Okay.
He's not coming back.
Yeah. The way it is right now, he is out for the game, says OC. Look like Buffalo's about to go up 20-0. They could possibly kick this field goal. But let's talk about the Bills' season, man, this year. Stephon Diggs was huge for them. I think that is, I'm not going to say the only reason, and the defense. But getting Stephon Diggs, which is a real wide receiver, has really helped out Josh Allen. And Beasley playing in the slot, and the defense has honestly been able to make stops. And they really don't have that great of a running game either. So, Michael, I'll go to you first.
No, I think, when Minnesota got rid of Stephon to the Bills, I was just like, what?
Yeah.
What's going on? But
yeah,
when you put a young quarterback and a talented receiver together, that's only going to help you to blossom, because now it's just like, yo, I have someone that I can trust. I can let this ball fly, and I know it's a good 80% chance he's going to come down with this ball. And the way I think their team is so balanced. Them, like, even watching the game now, it doesn't seem as if, okay, they're so dependent on their offense or they're so dependent on the defense. They can balance it off. So even with Josh Allen coming in and going out, and it's like, okay, they have a chance. I even had them going to the Super Bowl, and I say, they have a chance to go all the way.
Yeah.
But, obviously, that building block that's in the way, the Kansas City Chiefs, that's a mountain for everybody to climb. So, but I think with Diggs and Josh Allen, and like you said, with Colt Beasley in the slot, I think that really helps them. And obviously, they're about to send Baltimore home tonight. But I think the Bills have a good shot of making it to the Super Bowl. They have a shot. They have a really, really good shot.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Locke, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think they do have a good shot. They had a very impressive season to me. Josh Allen made a huge jump, and then maybe it did have to do with Diggs. I mean, like you said, when we heard the thing about Diggs getting traded, it was like, okay, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
We didn't understand. Now, what made it a little bit easier to take is what Justin Jefferson did in Minnesota. So now it's like, oh, okay. I mean, I got the trade, but all right, you got some 1,400-yard rookie. Okay.
Right.
But that was a key piece for Buffalo. I think he's making a huge impact. Their defense is always the defense. Buffalo always had a solid defense. Micah Hyde is playing pretty well. Tre'Davious White, I think, is a little underrated. Just a little. I don't think people talk about it because, you have the Jalen, you have the Gilmore. Marcus Peters has had so many picks. Tre'Davious White is a person that's just not talked about as much.
Yeah.
So, but their season is playing. They're playing pretty good, and they're put together well. But like you said, they got to run into them boys up in KC. And the one thing that they don't do, they're gonna have to do against the Chiefs. They're gonna have to run the ball.
Yeah.
They have to. I mean, we know Diggs is having a hell of a season, but do you really want to go point for point with those guys?
No.
I mean, we can talk about it, but like seriously, have they ever been to the point to where they're like, all right, we gotta score every drive now? I mean, do we realize this last year when the Texans were up by so much and they came back? And they're better than last year's team.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, they're playing good, but it's one thing about the playoffs, man. We got to realize as good as teams play, somebody got to go home.
Somebody. Exactly.
You look at these games, you be like, man, listen, somebody ain't going to make it out. So
Yeah.
Bags.
Yeah. And early, the game the week before, Seattle, I just thought Seattle was going to win that game. I didn't any way possible, but that just shows you, man, that defense. And people talk about Jalen, but the guy on the other side, Darius, I think his name
Darius Williams. Yep.
Darius Williams. He was the one with the pick six. And throughout this whole year, the second half of the year, as we all probably know, Russ was not looking Russ-like. There was struggles. And that game, that Arizona game, was almost like the beginning of the struggles because he had, I think, 3 or 4 picks that game. That was that Sunday night game that was a back and forth, one of those games that you'll stay up all night to watch. I think it went into overtime. But, the Rams surprisingly made it to the next round. Now, you ran into Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers was just going to pick you apart. And Jalen, Jalen on the sideline looked like he about to cry. Like, you played Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what to tell you.
You got to play your A game. You definitely got to be on your A game for that. And even the Titans and the Ravens game, like, Derrick Henry was this monster this year. Like, he had a hell of a season, but somebody got to go home. That's just what it is. You looking at
they shut him down.
Got to play.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just even next week. We talked about how good the Packers look good, such and such. The Saints and the Bucks play next week. Tomorrow. So whoever wins, they got to play the Packers.
Yeah.
So we're gonna feel this hype tomorrow. Bucks win. It's gonna be like, oh yeah, the Bucks are like a Super Bowl contender, such and such. Got to go to Green Bay. So somebody not gonna make it. It's just that's
it. That's it. Overton says the Bills can't and don't run the football. That's going to keep them out, which you mentioned that. Stefanski, coach of the year. I don't necessarily disagree with that. Now, I'm trying to see That was the team. You know, you could say them and the Rams were the two teams that made it to the playoffs, and you were kind of shocked, or even made it this far.
Yeah,
and you got to be a little shocked. But Stefanski, I think, has been big for the Browns, and I think tomorrow's going to be a better game. I think than what people are putting on it. The way they beat the Steelers again. No, if you didn't live in Pittsburgh, you had question marks on the Steelers. You just did, just because they limped through games, and there was games that they should have lost and they won, and they got lucky. So I'll say that.
Yeah, the Steelers didn't look. What was it, the last 4 to 5 games? They just didn't. They looked like they just checked out. That it was just in cruise control. Like, all right, we're in the playoffs. We don't really care no more. And then it's like they forgot. Like, when you get to the playoffs, you got to show up now. And I think that's what it is, because I'm watching that Browns game, and I'm looking at the score that's climbing. I'm like, yo, is this a football game or a basketball game?
Right. Right. The way the first quarter was, actually, they scored 28.
28 points in the first quarter. I'm like, hold on.
That's big time cooking right there.
They checked out the last 4 to 5 games, man. It just Ben was just out there like, yo, anybody on the defense want the ball? Anybody?
He just handed out. He just handed it out.
So yeah, man, the Steelers, I just think it's time, man. I mean, I get it. They're $40 million. Whew.
Yeah, it's probably hard for him to. I mean, he's gonna have to do what Peyton Manning did when he left Indianapolis with that long letter crying to everybody, letting them know that he's leaving.
Yeah,
that's probably what they're gonna have to do, because I can't say it was just Juju's fault. I felt like, for one, that defense they were just gashing them, gashing them.
They weren't as good. They weren't as good as what they look like on paper.
Yeah, and that's another reason why, like, you know, I know everybody's talking about the Chiefs. Oh, the Chiefs are gonna go win by 20, dude. Like, the Browns, if they can run the ball.
You know, the Browns, their backfield with Chubbs and Hunt. Oh my God!
Yeah, I'm saying.
No, that 1-2 punch, man.
Dude, they give Kareem. Let's say Chubb goes 3 carries for like 15 yards, and you're tired, and you're thinking he's tired. He's gonna tap his helmet, and then they're gonna bring in another fresh guy who can easily give him another 18.
Yeah.
So right. You got starters. Basically, you got 2 starters. It's like, you flip a coin. It's like, which one do you want to deal with? So
right.
Yeah,
pick your poison.
Gonna run that. And if Baker could be a good team management type of player, I don't think he needs to go out there and try to stuff. You don't do that Oklahoma stuff. Just stay in your lane and just dip and dunk if you have to, and just run the game. You will have a shot. But if you do Patrick Mahomes,
I'm trying to tell you, I don't know why. I really think that this game, like, people really think it's open. Like, people are willing to bet their whole check on the Chiefs right now.
Yeah.
And just look at how. Okay, let's go back to last year's Super Bowl, right? If you look at, I don't know if you guys remember that one pass Jimmy G missed to Emmanuel Sanders.
Yes.
If he makes that catch, the Chiefs are not winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I go back to say the 49ers, what did they do? They ran the ball very good.
Yep.
Very good. Last year, they had Raheem Mostert, Tevin Coleman. They had these guys back there that can just continue to flip out and run, and they got a tight end, blah, 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 such as that, with a top defense. So if the Browns can minimize the mistakes on defense, don't forget now, they got a solid 4 linemen down there. They got Olivia Byrne, they got Myles Garrett. They got the guys.
They do.
They just need to make a couple plays. And now when you get to a 1st and goal, you need to capitalize. You can't get no 3 points against Mahomes.
Nah, because he can put up 7.
Yeah, you want about 8. So if you don't get the point, like I said, you're in a bad scenario. And who ran into the scenario was the Texans last year. The Texans got up by 21 and felt like, well, we're going to keep scoring against Mahomes. No, What you should have done is run the ball. Hey, look, we up 21. Yeah. Let's get up out of here.
Yeah. Tom, run this clock. Run this clock out.
Yes.
The thing is, how do you cover Kelce? I don't think there's anybody on the Browns that can cover Kelce. And he's been doing it all year. Then if you try to blanket on Kelce, you got the burner over here. And then if you forget that, you got Sammy Watkins, and then you got Demarcus Robinson. It's just like
McCall Harmon.
And
then Harmon too. Yeah.
Got two backs that can catch with Bell. Exactly.
Le'Veon got fresh legs. Le'Veon trying to get the trip. So he's gonna be ready.
Let's just say the best way to stop that offense is to keep them off the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not even let y'all on the field. Y'all stay on the sideline. Hey, let's make this a little low scoring, 17-3, 17-10 type game. Because if I go and I say, you know what, I'm gonna put up 7 and challenge that offense.
Nah. Yeah. You don't want to do that. You don't want to play with Patrick Mahomes in that offense, man. That's too much power, man.
Yeah.
You give Tyreek just a little room. You give Tyreek just a little slant.
It's a slither, and he's gone.
And trust me, I know. My corner for the Bucks. Trust me. First, I'll say this: first quarter, 200 yards is what Tyreek. So I know. So if we want to go back and forth, you know what I'm saying, scoring wise, my man Tyreek could have had about 600 yards and about 4-5 touchdowns if he wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 touchdowns, 200 yards, and he ended with like 278. They called the dogs off.
Wow. Overton says Big Ben has more football left in him. Well, if I was the Steelers, I would say you got more football, but not here. You got to go somewhere else but here you can play. We'll pay you whatever it is. That money is a lot. But honestly, if you can figure out a way to draft a quarterback, which you can do that, you can slide that guy in and see what happens.
Oh no, he has football left in him as a coach. That's where he's gonna go next. he's about to be an offensive coordinator or a QB analyst.
Yeah. Like, go up in the booth.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go up there with Tony Romo or somebody because hey, we appreciate listen, you're going to the Hall of Fame. There's no question. But right now, the team that they have, I think it's probably over for him. He can't move at all. Like,
yeah. Mobility anymore, man.
Mobility, right.
He's stiff, man.
It's not 36, I believe. He's 36 or 37.
Yeah, he's up there. You're right. He was in the same class with
Phillip Rivers. Yep.
With Phillip Rivers, who's more than likely going to retire. And the same thing with you mentioned his name, Eli Manning. Eli Manning's already gone. So I mean, like the writing's on the wall. Eventually, sooner or later, which hopefully sooner, he's going to be out. He's 38 right now.
Oh, all right.
Well, I gave him 2 years. I gave him 2 years. So, but I mean, dang. But see, again, this goes to the point I had with the Packers, right? The Packers like to keep their quarterback for a long time. They're good for a while. The same thing with the Steelers, right? The Steelers, who was their quarterback before this? Cordell Stewart, Tommy Maddox, 1 or 2. They've been good for a long time. They don't draft a quarterback and say, okay, well, you're not good for a couple years and then get rid of them. They build around them.
Right.
So, and that's what I was talking about earlier about the whole Jameis thing is, okay, we took him and then we say, you know what, we're not going to build around you. We're going to go pick up another quarterback to get us straight there. So that kind of was, the connection with that. But I mean, yeah, it's time for them to go ahead. Hey, go ahead and call Kyle Trask and Mac Jones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead and tutor them up for about a year, whatever you need to do. But yeah, give me some of that money too, Big Ben, because we need to go pay somebody else.
Right. Give us a loan. We'll pay you back. We'll spread this out over the next 9 years. How about that?
Exactly.
Give you that Bobby Bonilla. We'll give you $1 million a year for the next 40 years.
Yes.
Right.
Here's a comment. Stefanski or Brian Flores for you said both of them did a great job. Yeah, Brian Flores, what he did with Miami, where they could have made the playoffs, almost made the playoffs. I think he definitely should get a look, especially doing with Fitzmagic. Well, Fitzmagic is part-time Magic. He is Magic for like 4 weeks. We all know this, and then everybody's like, "Oh, he's gonna lead this team and all that." Like, look, he is good. He is Magic in a bottle. And then after that, that's when they brought in a young boy to it. So
yeah,
I think it's definitely.
I didn't like that decision. To me, I
didn't like it too early.
I felt like if for one your team is already winning, so why bring in the rookie guy? Let him learn. Okay, and then I don't like how they took him out when they started playing bad. Like, you got to understand that every game in your NFL career is not going to be great. Like, you're going to have the bad games. You're going to be down. You're going to be down 21. You got to figure out a way to get, out of that hole. You can't say, okay, well, we're only going to put him in when we're playing good, and then that'll be that. He has to have growing pains. I think that's with any sport any athlete in any sport is you need to have your growing pains so you can say, all right, well, when this happens again, I know how to get out of this, regardless if with the Dolphins or whoever else. So to me, it feel like they still have questions with Tua. Yes, I think Brian Flores did a hell of a job over there. If I'm them, the way they feel about Tua, I'm probably calling Houston to see what they want for Deshaun Watson.
Let's get on that topic. Deshaun has been posting a lot of cryptic text messages, Instagram stories, tweets, and all of that. And I think, basically all he did was look at the blueprint. Yeah, look, that James Harden did all of those things, and he got out of there. But the thing, I don't think they're going to move him just because the amount what they just paid him. They just did a contract with him. Now I get Deshaun's point though. You're wasting away his talent. You got an owner that's like questionable. I don't know, on the borderline racist. So like, what do you do with that? And then you got them not even considering your thoughts and opinions. It's not like you got to do exactly what he says, but if he says, "Hey, I like Eric Bieniemy," bring him in for an interview. Now they did. Now it looks like they are going to end up doing that, but it was kind of like an after effect. Now that we see you wanted him, and Randy Moss was on earlier today. Kind of really, elaborating on that whole situation. But if he gets out of there, it's gonna be interesting scenario how they make that trade happen.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought it was fire from the moment. Like, you don't let go of D-Hop.
Exactly.
Like, right off the rip, I'm looking at this and I seen the trade come up. I'm like, not D-Hop got traded. What?
Yeah,
this can't be real.
Right, exactly. I was like, this is a joke.
Like, I'm like, did they trade him for another superstar receiver? Like, what's going on? So when that happened, it was just like one of those things. It was just like, we're basically saying, Deshaun, we're in a rebuilding year. It's like, you was just like the dude. I think was number one passing rating for like the past 2 years. I think he's been up there. So for you to now, in this young stage of his career, basically dialing back, because that's basically what you're doing. You get rid of DeAndre Hopkins, you're basically saying, okay, we're going to be rebuilding. He's not rebuilding. The man came in ready to play. You have one of the best, to me, D-Hop is the best receiver in the league. That's just me. But you have one of the best receivers in the league, and then you trade it away for freaking nickels and dimes. What do you expect? And now you're basically treating Deshaun as if his input doesn't count. So when you're at the round table and you're talking to everyone, and it's like, okay, we're going to talk to this guy, we're going to talk to this guy, but what about the main person that you have as a face of your franchise? If you're not getting his input on coaching decisions and player trading decisions, then you're basically just saying, listen, sit back, we're driving this car, you may have the keys, but we're driving. And to me, that's not the way you treat your franchise player, and especially in this day and era when the quarterback is really the key to everything, because the quarterback gets babysit now in this era of football. So for you to be treating Deshaun in this type of manner, I don't blame him for basically, following that blueprint that James Harden is basically saying, like, listen, Deshaun, I'm laying the blueprint for you, baby. I went to Brooklyn.
Right, exactly.
I went to Brooklyn. So,
yep. And Tracy Porter with the question. Watson has no trade clause. That is correct. He has no trade clause. So I think there's a way to get out of everything, honestly. Prime example is what Harbaugh. I thought Harbaugh was going to end up getting fired, but he got signed to an extension. But the whole thing with Harden, the whole thing, we said the same thing about CB3, or they can't ship CB3. CB3 been traded twice. So like and Westbrook's been traded twice. Now, NFL wise, you don't see as many trades for your star quarterbacks. So, but there's a way to get out of it. There's a way to make it happen.
Yeah, it is. I mean, right now, Deshaun Watson is clearly a top 5 quarterback with the team. He was a top 5 quarterback last year with the team that he had. You took away his number 1 option. You went and got a beat up David Johnson.
Exactly. That is not equal at all.
No. I mean, if you give me the David Johnson that burst in Arizona, okay. But no, this is a totally different guy. You got a Brandon Cooks who just got off an injury, who literally usually can't stay healthy most of the time, but I think he was pretty healthy this year later on. Will Fuller isn't bad. And then you went and got Randall Cobb. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like you said, like y'all said, I just feel like it seems as if he's trying to control the owner. They're trying to control the scenario. Like he has no say so. But how you gonna basically not give a shot to not talk to the guy that literally was a top 5 quarterback when you were 4-12?
Right. How do you not come to him and say, we're considering trading D-Hop? Of course he would say no. But they just went ahead and did it and was like, oh well, we got you Randall Cobb here. We got you Will Fuller. Will Fuller had a good year, but Will Fuller is not the same as D-Hop. Let's be straight up clear and honest here. And D-Hop has the best hands in the league. So you gave up a sure hands receiver for somebody that's mainly like a deep route type guy.
You gave up a 3rd down converter.
Right.
It could be 3rd and 20. And I tell you, this dude will get it.
Right.
So you just hurt. To be honest, I feel like if they have D-Hop, they're probably going maybe 8-8 at worst.
Right.
Because of the impact that he makes as a player, right? I mean, he's one of those players that look at Arizona. Arizona was really considered being in the playoffs for a while. A couple different things kind of hurt them, but he made that big of an impact. So for me, that trade, dude, I thought that was like something on Madden. I remember doing some of the trades like that on Madden or something like that. And then it's like, dang, this trade really went through. Okay, let me hurry and save this franchise before something happened. That's what I'm thinking. And I see it and it's like, okay, what are you doing? So now, I mean, I feel like the perfect coach there is Eric Bieniemy. But just the scenario that Bill O'Brien put them in doesn't look good. They don't have any draft picks. What do you
do?
Exactly. In a sense, it may sound bad, but you're probably better off shipping Deshaun Watson somewhere for some draft picks because the left tackle they got, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. That was in the trade. That was in the trade with the Miami. Dolphins. And that pick that the Dolphins had this year, I think is 4th.
Yes.
4th or 5th or somewhere.
Yes. They just almost made the playoffs. Not forget the guy that's the left tackle, I think, in Seattle was in Houston before this.
Yeah.
So it was another left tackle. Basically, they had a left tackle that was about as good as Lamar Jackson already there. They trade him. Now they got to replace him. They replace him with Lamar Jackson. Now you just gave up 2 or 3 first round. What sense does that make?
Right.
So now you're in a scenario you have no picks, man. You can't build.
Yeah. Honestly.
So now you're asking him to do everything.
Where do you guys know where are they in the draft coming up?
They would have been 4th.
The Texans, you saying?
Yeah.
Well, they would have been 4th. I don't think they have a first round pick at all.
Nope. That's the Dolphins pick.
Yeah, that's the Dolphins pick. Yeah.
So who won that trade?
Exactly. Exactly.
Who won that?
So their 2021 picks Let me go. They have, oh my God, they have a third. That's where it starts. A third, fourth, a fourth that they got from Arizona, which was in the trade with David Johnson. Yeah. And then they got a fifth, sixth, and seventh. Like, you cannot build a team with that.
You can't even trade up.
Yeah, you can't. Even if you gave them all those picks, nobody would take that deal.
I wish you would call him about a third round pick. Talk about you in the move just for the second round. Just for the second. You're not picking until day 3.
Yeah. That's wild. All right, so San Francisco or Chicago, those are 2 spots Matt puts in here. I think, and before we answer that, the fall off of Jimmy G. You remember Jimmy G got paid a hefty contract with the 49ers. He didn't play that first year, been often injured. Now, they did go to a Super Bowl, but that wasn't all Jimmy G. But I would honestly, Chicago seems like the best situation just because they honestly don't have anybody. They don't believe in Trubisky, and Nick Foles is out of there. So I would say Chicago. That, to me, that's who I would pick.
Yeah. I really think that Chicago, I ain't gonna lie, if I'm Chicago, I'm giving them every pick to get this dude. Because you messed up by trading up with Trubisky anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So remember now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Houston and Chicago played each other this past year. And before that, Deshaun Watson was like, I don't know what they were thinking about not picking me.
Yep. Right.
This is one of those things where, like, you were playing a game and then you died or something, and then you restart the game and then you go back to that level. Then you try again. Yeah, right. This is that over, right? So right. Take all your picks, call them and say, okay, what you want? What you want? What you want? Because he gonna be in Chicago before preseason. So whatever you need, call him. Now, I ain't giving up Khalil Mack, but hey, we could work something to where he get there, because you have Allen Robinson to be there.
Right.
Yeah, you would have David Montgomery. Like, that team is literally a quarterback away from being, I think, a consistent, like, competitor with the Packers.
Yeah.
It's just me.
Yeah. All right. What you say, Michael? San Francisco or Chicago?
I guess it all depends on, a comfort thing too. Also, you look. I think if you go to San Fran, then you have a defense behind you. So having an off game, you have a defense. Don't get me wrong. Like you said, you got Khalil Mack. That's a bad man. But I'm looking at it from this standpoint. I mean, if he wants to stay within that warm temperature, playing in Texas, it's hot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
True.
And you go to San Fran, you're going to still be in that warm temperature. You go to Chicago, that's a different wind. It touches your skin a little bit different when it gets to January, February. You playing in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Out there with those heating pads, and so. But if I was him, if I'm Chicago, I'm breaking the bank. I'm bringing every draft pick 2030.
Yeah.
I'm sending everything. I'm calling my mom, like, yo, listen, Mom, you want to be traded for Deshaun? Like, we need
yeah, for real. Because what?
Yeah, we gotta do whatever.
We gotta get him in house. So yeah, man. I mean, San Fran or Chicago, to me, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with either one. Because, like he said, you put Deshaun in that system where he's opened up and he can get the ball moving, and it's gonna be him up there with Green Bay. Oh, most definitely. They're gonna be competing back and forth. Him and he might take that throne from Aaron and take over that division. So
yeah.
He can. He has it, but it's just you had D-Hop, and then you took that away from him. So now it's like, yo, who am I going to be passing the ball to?
Right. Who can I truly depend on? You got one guy that's often injured. You got another guy. Will Fuller had 500 yards, receiving this year. I mean, that's all he had. 500 and let me make sure. Let me look it up just to make sure. I thought it said 590. Maybe that was last year.
Between 5 and 7. Yeah, no more than that. But
so I mean, like, what do you do? And Well, he had 879 and 8 touchdowns this year. So
okay,
it's better. It's better than what he had the year before.
Yeah.
But again, if the players now can orchestrate their destiny. We've seen that happen so many times. Yeah. So if he does not want to be there, he will force them to do something, which people have set out and all of that. Now, Le'Veon Bell didn't work out for him necessarily. Well, it could work out if you get the Super Bowl this year.
But, it works out perfect for him. You got paid the ring.
Works out perfect.
Right, exactly. So, we'll see what happens. Let's bring in our last guest of the night, Derrick Branch. He's a Saints fan. So we may have a little bit of back and forth here. We got Bucks and Saints on. So
make sure he see this top right here, buddy.
What's up, man?
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Not much, man. How y'all doing?
Good. Glad to get you on again. You guys won last week, so I said, I'm gonna bring you back on. Okay. Give me your thoughts on the games for today. And the Bills just won 17-3, so that's official. But give me your thoughts on the games from today.
Oh man, well I thought Baltimore was gonna win the game, but apparently that didn't happen. Lamar Jackson with the Ravens at this point, man, you got to go and get the guy some help. You know what I'm saying? Some weapons on the outside to really, get that offense, truly going. You watch the game, paying attention to it. There's a lot of running plays, passes to the tight ends. You got the guy was Hollywood Brown. I think he's a pretty good receiver, man, but he's not. From what I've seen, just based off my observation, he's not a number one wide receiver. You got to go out and get him something like a Stephon Diggs type to go opposite of him. Right. Also with that tight end, Andrews is pretty good, man. But you got to he needs weapons. He needs a pure number one to go with him on the outside. And another game with Rams and with Green Bay, I believe. Yeah, Rams and Green Bay. They had a chance to win that football game, but Jared Goff didn't come through when he was supposed to. And kind of wondering, man, if how long is Sean McVay is gonna keep Goff as his quarterback. I know they just re-signed him to a new deal, but I think you only do so much with Goff. You know what I'm saying? This clearly shows that he doesn't like playing in the cold weather. For whatever it is, he don't like being in that cold weather, and it showed today. So I don't know what you do for going forward with Jared Goff. Yeah, and he did just get that extension. And I don't know how hurt he is, or if that's even if that's a thing, because he was hurt last week. They're like, hey, you're just an emergency, and then they're like, we need you to come in, and he came in and he helped them win a game. So like, I didn't necessarily get that whole thing from last week, but I think that's a real question going into this offseason, because that defense is real. If they're all healthy, I know Aaron Donald wasn't really fully healthy today, but if that defense is fully healthy, they got a real shot, to possibly do something, going forward. So we'll see. But Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers, and we talked about this earlier, Derrick is getting the Ravens an outside wide receiver. I think we all mentioned that, so we're all kind of on the same page that that's what they're going to look at in the offseason. And drafting one too. There's a lot of wide receivers you can get. Yeah. So, all right. So going into tomorrow, Saints Bucks. We got both of you guys here on the show. What's the game plan for the Saints tomorrow? Well, I don't see nothing really changing with the game plan. I know Antonio Brown wasn't acclimated to that offense the last time they played. So I know that he wasn't really be a factor in that game, but this game it might be. But just do the same thing. The Saints do the same thing they did the last game. The O-line, I know Tampa's O-line is a little banged up. If they can get some more pressure onto Tom Brady, I know he doesn't like that pressure up front. In each of the games that they lost is that it's because of that pressure coming up front like that. If they can force that on Brady again, it's pretty much I'll see the same results. A win. Okay. I know Tampa's going to score some points though. I know there's points this time. Yeah. And any time Tom Brady is lost, i.e. the two Giants championships, it was the pressure. Yeah. Pressure. So, Michael is a Giants fan, so I know you like that comment. I had to throw that in there.
But yeah, going into tomorrow, and like we kind of talked about earlier, the battle of the older quarterbacks. Like one is clearly like 1 foot in and 1 foot out. That's Drew Brees. The other one, I think Tom Brady wants to play another couple of years. So I'm really interested with this matchup. And I think like Locke said, it's going to be more so. I think about the defense and how you make if you can make stops in the running game. Now, one question I didn't ask is who's going to be the running back for the Bucks? Is what's the guy? Ronald Jones? Is he good to go?
I think it's still gonna be Fournette.
It'll be
still gonna be.
Yeah, he'll be the guy right now. Yeah, Rojo is game time decision. I told you, even with regardless of who the running back is, we got to get the running game started against him, because if you don't, you got that. I think it's Henderson, number 91. You got him. You got Cam Jordan. You got this D line in rotation that the same thing that the Browns do with their run with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, the Saints and do with their pass rush, right? Henderson will tear you up all day on one side and say, all right, you know what? Dang, I'm tired. All right, take him out and bring somebody else and do the same thing. That's as damaging. So the thing about the Saints is they're good on each phase, right? They got the D line, then they got the linebackers, right? Then they got the corners. So you can't. They're not the actual Chiefs, but they can put up points anytime they want. So to go toe to toe with them, it wouldn't. I don't think that'll go well. I think for us to win, it should be a low scoring game to win. But if it's a high scoring game, now we're to the scenario where, okay, which one of these defenses is going to make a stop? That key stop. If we can go to 27, which one of these defenses is disciplined enough to make a stop when they need to? And that is the problem that I see with our defense, is when we need that one stop, sometimes we have not done it. I mean, we lost to the Bears because of a crappy penalty game, right? A lot of things that was happening in that game. Both times we played the Saints, they jumped out. We didn't know what we were doing. So, but when we played against a playoff team, the defense couldn't do anything. They couldn't make any stop. Cooper Kupp had over 170, had 13 catches in like 3 quarters. And Robert Wood did the same thing. So for us, we need to get Leonard Fournette cooking. We can get him cooking. Now the play action starts to work. Now you got AB kind of getting, what he wants. You got Lattimore and Evans. That's going to be a dogfight. We're going to see it all day. That's just what that is. You got Janoris Jenkins. You got these other guys. We need to get everybody kind of involved, but it starts with the running game. My only thing that has me nervous about this game is Bruce Arians. Every time we go against a team that puts up a lot of points, it seems like he has this ego of, okay, well, you know what? They can put up 30, so we need to put up 30. They can put up 40, but we need to put up 40. No, that's not the case. Run the ball and keep that offense off the field. That's just what that is. You can't keep that defense out there and you're saying, okay, well, look, Carlton Davis, we need you to be on Michael Thomas. No, Carlton Davis is – Bruce Arians put his foot in his mouth early in the season when he said Carlton Davis was a top 10 corner. You don't say that before the season. But he's not. He's not a top 10 corner. He's not. Like I'm the fan that is not biased. I'm not biased. So I kind of look at everything as just how it is. And he's good. He's not a top 10. You're not gonna leave him on no island with nobody. No. So for me, if we can keep this at like a 7, if we go in the third quarter, right, or fourth quarter, and this game is like 17, maybe 20, maybe 14, the Saints are in trouble. But if it gets to we're going in the fourth quarter and it's like 27-30 and 28-28, that's not the kind of game I want to be a part of, because one of these defenses got to make a stop. And I don't trust our defense to do that. Like, I don't see Todd Bowles calling that kind of, well, because you can't play zone against Drew Brees. If you do it, he's going to cook you.
Yeah. True. This is the third matchup of these two teams. The Saints won the first 2. So, you go into this third one, the way I look at it is you got to come. obviously was something different than what you did the past 2 games. So if there's anybody that can come with a game plan, it's got to be the head coach. Obviously, we know he's that offensive mastermind. And one week he did it with, didn't he do it with Taysom? I think 1 week.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, now I wanted to ask you this, Derek.
Go ahead.
The Saints are favored by 3. You think that's fair?
Yeah, it's fair. It's 3 times, man. You beat Brady. I guess you could have it's fair to have that number.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think so too, because you got to just factor in that they beat them. Brady normally rises to the occasion. That's in his history and in his DNA and all of that. But that D line in 91, what is that? That's Henderson or
Trey Henderson, yes.
Yeah. I mean, like that is definitely going to be a part of it. The other part, obviously, is Alvin Kamara. Like, if you can get him going, and last week we talked about the conditioning that Alvin Kamara is in.
Right.
Like the way he just bounces off of tackles to me is one of the best that we've ever seen. So that is going to be a huge part going into tomorrow too. So with tomorrow's game, give me you guys is what's one thing they need to do? I know you kind of already touched on it, but something you haven't mentioned. Or let me back up. Who's an X factor that maybe could have a huge game? Locke, I'll go to you first.
I have to say Leonard Fournette. I have to.
Yeah, I agree.
We got to run the ball. Like, that's the only thing that pisses me off about this team, Bruce Arians. This dude does not like to run the ball. Remember what I said earlier is we went against the Saints and had a game where we ran the ball 4 times in one game. And in 60 minutes, we ran the ball 4 times. 4.
How hard to do it down by 20 points for 21 points.
We were, but if you look at I remember the game literally, and the first drive we passed the ball 3 times, and then we ran the ball, and then we went back to passing. Like, I understand if you're down 21-0, okay, now you got to abandon the run. But if you have opportunities before that to run the ball, try to get it involved first. I think that's what they're going to try to do this time. And the reason why I think is because Tom Brady's going to let them know, listen, the last 2 times we played against them, we ran the ball a total of like 12 times. Against the Redskins, who had a serious pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Washington football team.
Yeah.
Ran the ball. Started out with a couple carries by Fournette, finished with 19 carries. So for me, I think running the ball is something that we really, really, really we need to be balanced. At least show some kind of balance. Because if we don't show any balance, that pass rush is gonna kill us. Our Alex Cappa just broke his hand, so we're done. I believe our left guard, he's out. So don't even talk about Donovan Smith. I don't even want to bring that dude up. He got paid and he just standing like a brick. So we're not even gonna talk about him. We need to run the ball. If we can run the ball with Leonard Fournette, I think that we have a chance. But again, that means the score is going to be lower.
Yeah.
Than north of 27, north of 28.
Yeah. All right, Derek, I'll go to you. X factor for the Saints.
All right, I'm gonna go with the guy Deontay Harris. He's the kick returner / wide receiver for the Saints, number 11. Just watch up for tomorrow for the matchups, man. Sean Payton is gonna find a matchup that he believes that he could favor the Saints, and he's gonna put Deontay Harris in situations to where the Bucks gonna have to adjust to stop him. I know Devin White was pretty, and in both matchups, Devin White did a pretty good job on shutting down Alvin Kamara. I'm looking forward to seeing how Sean Payton's gonna utilize Alvin Kamara in the running game again. But the big X factor tomorrow is going to be Deontay Harris, and what situation Sean Payton's going to put him in tomorrow. Watch out for Deontay Harris.
I agree. I like that. I like that. For me, on the Saints side, I would have to go with Taysom Hill. Obviously, he's been an X factor all year long. So, like, what do you do now? This is your opportunity to go to the conference championship game. So, what do you do in this situation? I think for when you go over to the Tampa Bay side, I would have to go with Tom Brady. I know that sounds weird, him being the X factor, but this is your third time around with this team. What is it? What are you going to do? And he has had some bad games this year. So what is it? What is it going to look like going into tomorrow? So that's what I would say. Michael, you being in the middle along with me, what would you say? X factor from one team or both?
I was actually for me it was going to be for the Bucks was going to be Brady, and then for the Saints I was going with Alvin Kamara. I think he needs to have a really, really good game to open up that the field for Drew. But I think Tom and Bruce Aaron, sometimes I feel like their heads be clashing too much.
Yeah.
They just be clashing too much, and I feel when you have a coach, I feel sometimes Bruce Aaron he wants to be Bill Belichick in a way where he can go to Brady and say something like, "Yo, I need you to do this." It's like, yo, that's not who you are. That's Bill Belichick had Brady for 20 years. He can slap him beside of the head and say, "Yo, Brady, get your junk together." You just been with this man a couple of months, going into a year now, so you don't have camaraderie with him where you can, say certain things and get up in his face. You gotta understand, Brady is not he's not a rookie. He's not a puppy. This is a grown German Shepherd. He's been around the block a few times, so he knows what So I think this is a game where Brady's gonna look at it and say, "Yo, I don't want to go out 3-0 to Drew Brees. I have to come in here and get at least one win, in which this will be the biggest win in the playoffs. I mean, the first two are regular season, but you get this big win." But I think Alvin Kamara could open up the field so much for Michael Thomas. If he can get off good in a good start, I think that opens up the field so much for Drew Brees. And then, like you were saying earlier with Taysom Hill, that dude is just like an army switch knife. You just throw him out there and say, "Yo, just do something."
Yeah.
Whatever you do, happy with it.
Yeah. Cordell Stewart. Honestly, Cordell Stewart 2.0. The only thing he hasn't done is punt the ball.
Yeah.
That's the one thing Cordell. When I see Cordell run out there, I'm like, I'm about to put him on not punt returner, but he's actually going to kick a punt.
Yeah,
that was a whole nother level of Swiss knife right there. All right, let's go to prediction on the score. I do this towards the end. So, Locke, I'm gonna go to you first. What you got?
So, we gave up a lot. We gave up 23 to the football team. So, I'm not gonna say what I want. I'm gonna say what I think.
Okay. Be honest.
Give us your vote as a fan and as an analyst.
So if you want to see both, okay. So
yeah, I like that.
So let me give you unbiased first because I don't want it to be this, but this is probably what it's going to be. So we're looking at probably like a 35 to 31.
Tampa Bay.
I gotta say them. Yes, I can't say no. I can't say no. I can't. I would never say no, but dang, like, yes. 35-31, yes.
Okay.
I say that because it's just the fact that I just don't trust my defense right now, to be honest. I don't trust them to make a couple key stops. We did it against the Packers, but the Packers, they're known to run the ball first, and we have the number one rush defense. So it made sense. Now, fan-wise, I'm liking a 21, maybe a 21-18, 21-15, 21-16. 21-15. And the reason why I say that, I think that we win by 6. I think that a kicker is going to make a couple key kicks that are going to matter. And I also feel like, you talked about with, you say, well, Mike said Tom Brady doesn't want to go out in the third way. I think that means that Tom Brady is going to be like, okay, what the hell with Bruce Arians right now?
Yeah.
Because your way didn't work. Like,
right.
We tried your way both times, and we got cooked both times.
Right.
So that's not working. So we're going to do it my way. Or I'm going to influence my way big time. And I think that they get the running game going, and we barely see Drew Brees. That's what I think. Now, Kamara's going to be Kamara, but like I said, I think we play good against running backs. But I do see us slowing the game down, not giving the Saints to get a chance to get in that rhythm. If we can keep them just offbeat just a little bit, we have a chance. But it has to be we barely got to 21. Barely got to 20 plus, so barely got to 15, barely to 14 or 17. So, I'm hoping a 21-16 game.
All right, Derrick.
I got 31-24 Saints. I think we're finally gonna see tomorrow Michael Thomas owning Carlton Davis Jr. in this game for the first time. I was kind of shocked that Davis held him in check in that first game, week 1, and then the second game, Thomas was coming back off that injury, slowly getting back into form. But we're gonna see him tomorrow cook Carlton Davis Jr. But I still think the Bucks keep it close, but the Saints win it 31-24.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go Bucks. I think the Bucks are gonna bounce back. So I think it is gonna be high scoring. I'm gonna go 38-33. I'm gonna do that. Ooh. I think it's gonna be. This is Drew Brees' last game. So he is not either. It's going to be a high scoring game or it's going to go horribly, one or the other. And they're going to end up putting somebody else in, which I don't think they'll do that to him. But it's going to be definitely going to be high scoring. So I'll say 38-31 Bucks. All right, Michael.
I was going with that too. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I was going up in the 40s. I was thinking.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a shootout. I think they're going to come out, and I think I'm leaning with the Bucks. I think Brady doesn't want to lose. I don't think he wants that triple crown. I don't think he wants that.
Yeah.
I think he wants to come in and really show, like, yo, listen, y'all said I'm falling off a cliff. Y'all said this about me. Y'all saying that, and I look at me going, first year in, I can't do it without Bill Belichick. I think the Bucks edge out the Saints, and I think Brady takes it. I don't think they're gonna go to the Super Bowl, but
yeah,
I don't see them going to the Super Bowl, but I think they beat the Saints in a shootout, 41. I'm gonna say 41-40, something around that. I think the Saints winning this, they have to come out gunning right away. I don't think it's going to be one of those games where the Saints start off slow and they have to play catch up, because I think Brady's so good at managing the game that if you come out slow, he's then going to know, okay, all right, let me put this running game into play. Let me make sure everyone else is eating. I'm going to make sure, say, Bruce Aaron, I ain't worried about you. You just watch. I'm going to show you how to get this done. You ain't been here before. And I think it's going to be one of those things. But if the Saints get off, if they come out in the first quarter and drop 2 bombs, I'm calling game in the first quarter.
Yeah. Boy, I hope. Hey, to be honest, the Saints defense is so good, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We can talk about how we put up points, but what defense have we put up points against? If you legit look at the defenses we played, we put up big points against the Falcons, trash. The Lions, trash. So that's the only reason why I say we needed to be low scoring because the Saints.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe in Tom Brady. I just, damn, like I haven't seen it. Let me say that. Let me say I have not seen our defense do that. Our offense do that against a really good defense. So if we do put up north of 30 against that defense.
But I think you got to look at it this way too. Is I don't think AB was implemented that much.
Right.
So now I feel when they have a little bit more time with AB and they can really put him in the mix. I think this is where you really can get, I'm not saying you're going to, but you're going to get some, some glitches where you see him and you're going to be like, oh, this man still have it. And then, obviously you got Gronk. You put him in the freaking end zone, he's automatically almost coming down with that ball. So I think that's where, obviously you got, that defense for the Saints is a nice defense.
It is.
They got better. They got better this year.
Yeah, this is also about coaching. I think, to be honest, if I had to pick a bigger X factor, it's about coaching.
Yeah,
right. You cannot. Somebody has to outcoach somebody. We all watch college football. We know that when Bama plays, what are they going to do? They're going to do the same thing. They're going to do the same exact. They're not doing anything different.
Right.
So with Sean Payton being a great coach as he is, he's going to do the same exact thing. He's not changing. So this is where the conflict with BA and Tom Brady comes in. Is Tom Brady's like, okay, I've been doing this for so long, like this way it's been working. But Bruce Arians is like, well, nah, that doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. I need you to do X, Y, and Z. So now the coaching is starting to. They're bumping.
You miss Belichick, man.
Yeah.
More.
You start bumping your head, and now next thing you know, the Saints are up 21-0. And it's like, okay, well, damn, now I got to do what Bruce Arians. Now we got to pass the ball. We can't run like now you screwed. So, I mean, we'll see. I'm not nervous about it, but it's only one person. Like, I'm like, dude, like, understand that we have Tom Brady. Yes, he does not need to throw the ball deep every 4 or 5 plays. Run the ball.
That's why you got Fournette.
Yes.
That's the reason why. And you got Shady. We all forget. Shady, I don't know what Shady's going to do, but you got him there. Like, he's at the end, too. Like, I hate that he didn't. I don't know if he ever really fully reached his potential. It was like he had a window.
Yeah.
But I feel like it could have been longer, longer. Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. Exciting, man.
We got one question or a couple of questions here I wanted to bring in before I let you guys go. Is Trey Lance, we were talking about quarterbacks earlier. Is Trey Lance another case of depending on physical traits and only one good season of college? That's a really good question. I didn't know who Trey Lance was last year. So half of that, I would say. But I think physical traits is a big thing for quarterback. Can he do both? I know, can he run and pass? That's going to be the big question, like on everybody, like on Lamar, like on Cam, like on like Kyler Murray, all of these guys. And then Mahomes, is the blueprint of being mobile, but being accurate too. Like he's the guy that I think probably one of the only ones that's been able to do both great, not do one good and one average. He could do both of them great. So I don't know if Trey Lance is that guy, but I think part of that question is, he only had one good college season.
Well, I think that I'm pretty sure you guys remember after Tom Brady got drafted, is literally every team was looking for that Tom Brady quarterback, right?
Right.
They were looking at this, we need a quarterback just like Tom Brady. He's this tall, he can throw like this. He may not be very fast, but such and such. I think that's the same thing with Trey Lance with Patrick Mahomes. We see what Mahomes did, right? Mahomes is, like you said, he's this guy. So now scouts, coaches, they're looking for a Patrick Mahomes type guy. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for a guy that is very similar to Patrick Mahomes. Oh, he has the build like him. He's kind of similar to him. That's what the Packers did last year. They drafted Jordan Love because they feel like he fits the Mahomes kind of the mold. So I'm thinking it's the same thing with Trey Lance. just like you, I didn't really know much about Trey Lance until this year, until he started getting mentioned. But it's clear that it's to the point now where scouts are looking for this mold. Yeah. And that's what the NFL is going to. I had a couple of friends, and I'm not sure if you guys agree, but the NFL now is kind of like 7-on-7 because of how they protect the quarterback.
Right.
Yeah. You can't even drive your shoulder into the quarterback anymore.
Right. You can't even push it. After he throws the ball, you can't even push him.
Yeah, you can't even tap on the shoulder, because if you do, it's a penalty. So it's so much of, okay, well, you know what, I'm about to sit back here and dance. Now you get somebody that can be a little mobile and a little accuracy. Now you have a NFL type quarterback. Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence are literally up there because they can be mobile, and Fields can probably be taught to be just a little bit more accurate, but that's what they are. Joe Burrow from last year. People forgot that he can run. He can run. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's the fact that, it's the mold, and now you're looking over some of these other, solid Big Ben type quarterbacks, Tom Brady type, Phillip Rivers type quarterbacks.
It's like that era. Right. That's like that era is over, and now they want. Yeah, they want Mahomes. Mahomes is, people are drooling over anybody that looks close to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go ahead, Derek, if you want to add on to that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be some teams gonna take a chance on him. Probably, a team that's gonna be looking for a quarterback. So I think he's gonna have a shot to make it in the NFL. Just like Justin Herbert when coming out of college. I didn't think Justin Herbert would exploded like that till we saw what he can do. And I see the same thing. All these quarterbacks are built the same. The ones that are succeeding right now, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, throwing a run, mobile, get out of pocket, and Trey Lance look like he's the same way to me. So I just think he's gonna get selected, man.
Yeah, in the first round too. Some people had him at, before last Tuesday or before last Monday. They probably had him before. I think before Matt Jones. Now on some boards, I think they may have Matt Jones higher. I don't necessarily agree with that, but it is what it is. Michael, anything you want to add on to that?
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, I didn't know much about the guy until earlier this year when I was watching him. I mean, no, not this year, but earlier in the season, and watching him, I was like, yo, this kid he's special. But it's like Locke said, it's that new generation of quarterback that's coming in.
Right.
You're 4-5, but you can also move in the pocket. And I think people forget that Aaron Rodgers was that, or still that.
Mm-hmm.
He's still there.
So, and I think
did it today.
And if you look at with Tom Brady, that stay in the pocket, manage the time, dip and dunk. He can get out. He can hit the long bomb when you need him to. He's very accurate. He's precise. He's more detailed. But now you have this new generation, these hybrids. It was like, all right, when we need, if we can't pitch it to our running back to get that 5 extra yards, we can do, quarterback sneak, because we know you're mobile enough to get to that hash line and get us that first down. So, I think he's going to be up there. I don't know who, but, obviously we all know the teams that need a quarterback right now. Obviously the Jags and the Jets and Chicago. So everyone is going to be looking, with, I want sidebar real quick. So I was looking at the with Urban Meyer going to the Jags.
Yeah.
And I grew up, being a Gators fan.
Me too.
When he was with Florida, I was like, yo, that's my man's. And I was talking to my cousin earlier today, and I was saying, he was asking me, do I think he's gonna take Fields over Lawrence?
I don't think so.
I
mean,
it would be nice. But I don't think
had a conversation yesterday, dude. And I wouldn't be surprised. Let me say that.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is what else can you improve with Trevor Lawrence? Literally, like he's supposed to be the quarterback god right now. Like everything is on 99 from him. If you had to make him as a Madden player, like he literally be topped off right now, right?
Yeah.
But Fields, you can look and say, okay, I can add, a little here, a little there, X, Y, and Z. So it's like Trevor Lawrence has a higher chance to bust than Fields. So, but for me, it's the fact that he coached at Ohio State too. Like it's like, dude, like
I was looking at it too.
You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of got to consider. But
right.
He's gonna know more about Fields than he is probably about Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
because him and Ryan Day were there together. So I mean, Ryan Day's gonna tell him everything, holes, what his ceiling can be, all of that stuff. So it's definitely a possibility, but I think he's gonna go. I think he's gonna go.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
Just think of the conversation that Ryan Day is already having with him now.
Yeah.
Like like I'm telling you, this kid, he's probably been there in practices like damn near. So he's seen the action. This is like I can even think about Cliff Kingsbury.
And he said it. Didn't he say that? He said Kyler Murray. He said something to the effect of, "I had Kyler Murray, I would be happy or whatever."
Who knows this dude? Yes.
Yeah.
So he got a job. No question.
Right. It's an interesting situation. This is the second time this has happened. Kingsbury, at least I know of, and now you got Urban Meyer coming in, which draft day or draft night is going to be very interesting. That first day, very interesting.
I ain't gonna lie though.
Is that a bad thing sometimes though? When you have Burr, for example, he came in. He's an older quarterback, so he's very polished and he's seasoned. So you knew right away you can throw him in and say, ready. But you look at Fields. He still has a little bit more upside. There's still more you can teach him.
Right.
As
right.
a coach, do you look at that as an issue? If you have a quarterback, he's coming in and ready, do you think he's going to come in with that ego like, yo, coach, I'm ready, throw me in? When you have a quarterback like, yo, I'm not 100% ready, but, if you put me out there, I can still be a little bit effective right off the rip. So, and I think that's really what it is to me. And, maybe because I grew up in South Carolina before I came back up north, and I met Deshaun Watson when he was at Clemson. And for me, this is just me personally, I don't think he is a better college quarterback than Deshaun Watson was.
Trevor Lawrence?
I don't think
he's not, bro. He's not.
I'm looking at it, and I'm comparing, and I'm like, I get it. He had that sunshine from what's the movie with Denzel Washington?
Yep.
He has that fact that he's coming in, he's built, he's 6'6" and whatever. But from what I've seen, what Watson was doing, I was like, is he really better, or is it just? I'm not saying he's a hype, because I'm not saying that he's a hype. He's not a hype. Yeah. But is he better? Is he really the greatest college quarterback? If you want to say best college you've ever seen. And I think that's really what people has put that.
Yeah, they put him there.
Right. And it's like, is he really that great?
Well, it's the fact that, remember his freshman year, he went to national championship games, so that played a huge part. But
look at the team.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm not taking him over Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry. Not in college. Hell no. But I'll say this. I'll say that if Urban Meyer takes Justin Fields, number one, like every team is calling up for that second pick. Every team.
Yeah.
Dallas got to call. I'm sorry. Dallas got to. It's a must. Jerry Jones has to. He would be on his yacht somewhere, literally like, I don't know where. He'll be somewhere like, okay, Trevor Lawrence is at sec. I got to call. Got to.
Right.
Yeah. It's going to be teams, fighting to get there.
But
they're fighting now for that second pick. Jake's just got a lot of leverage, man.
Yeah.
They got picks from the Jamal Adams trade, too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They got a lot of leverage, man.
And that coach, like, if you think about Robert Saleh, like, he was literally in San Francisco with Jimmy G with a defense that went to the Super Bowl. So he understands that he doesn't need to draft a quarterback number 2.
No, you don't.
He needs to go maybe defense or offensive line.
Go offensive line, in my opinion. I think you should trade the pick, and get more picks.
Yeah. I think
he's gonna build that defense. That is A1 focus. But Michael, what were you saying?
No, I was saying I was looking. So with the Jets now, they're number 2 in the draft, right?
Right.
And back what Locke was saying, if they don't draft a quarterback, so basically either Fields, but I mean, obviously, I think Lawrence is going to go number 1, but so basically, if Fields are one of them, they might even get pushed back to say number 5, 6 in the draft. Because for a coach, the defensive mind coach to come in for the Jets, and he can look at what's the name, the quarterback, Sam Darnold, and say, we can do something with Sam, but let's build that defense up. Let's go get Sam. Let's go pick up some wide receivers in the free agency, but let's work. Let's see what defensive line have. And that's what I was looking at. It's like, if Fields or Lawrence don't go 1 or 2, then they could possibly be looking at getting drafted number 8 or number, going lower down in the top of the draft. That's what I was basically trying to get at.
Yeah, that's a good point. So draft order, Jags, Jets, Miami, Falcons, Bengals, Eagles, Lions, Panthers. So that's where you're looking at, with your top your top 10 right there, or top 8 or 9. So this is very interesting and what happens with Deshaun Watson. If he ends up getting traded, there's going to be a team, possibly, them, wherever the Texans don't have a till 3rd. Well, I mean, they would end up getting a 1, if they package that deal right.
Oh yeah, that's
so Texas need to go ahead and just scratch all of that. If they traded Deshaun Watson, just start over. Just ship Will Fuller for some picks. Send Watt to Pittsburgh to go play with his brothers. Like, go get you a bunch of draft picks and just start from scratch, because you have nothing. Like, you literally you don't have anything.
You don't.
Yeah.
So
you messed it up.
Yeah. What are you doing?
You blew the team up for nothing.
Yes. Yeah. So blow all that up. Go ahead. Hey, J.J. Watt, little injury prone, but somebody take him for a couple of years. They're trying to win right now. Will Fuller, hey, he's what? Will Fuller's probably 20, 26, if that. Go ahead, ship him out. Brandon Cook said he don't want to get traded. Too bad. Send him on his way. Listen, go get all the picks you can.
Yeah.
For a couple more years from now. Do like OKC did, in Oklahoma City did, because you keep him. Okay, yes, he's there, but that looks bad, dude. Like, you got a guy there, you're not building around him, and you're forcing him to play there.
That doesn't want to be there.
That does not want to be there. You talk about look racist.
He was in San Francisco. I don't know if that was an old picture or a new picture, but he had a 49ers jersey on. It looked like he was in a car with somebody. I mean, like, the dude is telling you where he wants to go. And most NFL experts, this is a comment, saying that the starting price is 3 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, and then they are talking. Like, whatever this deal is going to be, it's going to be James Harden.
Chicago. You messed it once. What's the famous quote is what? You don't usually get second chances?
Better take it.
This is your only.
Now, somebody mentioned Tracy Porter. Can Watson handle the weather? I know you talked about that, Michael, going to Chicago. It's a different cold up there. Hey, if he had a choice, I'm sure you want to go to San Fran. Like, can't get any better than that. You can ride with the top down 365 days a year.
I don't think that offense fits him as much, though, for me. Like, well, you do got some receivers. You got Brandon Ayuk there. You got George Kittle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some pieces, yeah.
Debo, if Debo's going to be there, I don't know.
Yeah. He could be pretty solid.
Yeah.
This draft is going to be I ain't gonna lie. I do want to see the Jags pick Justin Fields just to see how things.
Just to see how people are gonna respond.
Yeah. Just to see how the team is calling up because the Patriots need to call up quick.
Yes. Yeah, because they obviously Cam's not coming back this year. So and they're not gonna roll Stedman out there. That's what people was getting me pissed off saying, oh well, Stedman's there. They're not. They'll roll out Jared Stedman as a starting quarterback. I was saying Cam all along, and they was like, nah, that's not gonna happen. Who else is it gonna be? Because Stedman's not gonna be the starter, and he's not gonna be the starter next year either. So they're gonna be in the mix.
Then Belichick's gonna draft a quarterback, or they're just gonna blow it up for good, blow it up and just start all over again.
Yeah, but if so, I think Belichick retires at some point.
Yeah, at some point he's set. I think he's 70 something. Let me see.
I mean, but you've done so much. In a sense, you're kind of still in the run. You're kind of still in the win right now because remember, a lot of the defensive players they opted out.
Yeah.
So they're gonna if they come back next year, like you're gonna have a couple pieces. Gilmore what did he do? Was it a season-ending injury?
Who?
Stephen Gilmore.
It was a season-ending injury. Yeah.
Okay, so you're not gonna see him again until probably maybe week 10, week 11. So yeah, he still got some corners, but you could blow it up. But if you do, I think that also goes with coaching.
They need weapons though, man. They got a bad wide receivers, man.
Yeah.
Patriots drafting at 15.
So
you could
find something.
Yeah.
The Jets ain't gonna trade. The Jets definitely hell no. You talk about somebody's number that's blocked. Call them. They're not even their phone not even ringing. I was like, so
let me give a shout out to Drew. He says, as a Browns fan, I haven't slept in 2 weeks because of excitement and nerves. Y'all got a big one tomorrow, man. This is the game of Baker Mayfield's life, his early NFL life. This is it. This is it right here.
Boy, if I ever think it's an upset, boy, this could be the one. If there's any upset that happens, I'm not shocked by it would be this one.
They gotta get that running game going, man. Early.
Get that running game cooking. Oof.
Yeah, they got a shot, man.
That's it.
And if you get down in the red zone, Kansas City struggles to score in the red zone. If you get three, force them doing 3 instead of 7, you got a shot.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you gotta score points though. You can force them scoring. You gotta score points too.
Mm-hmm. Right? You can't go down there kicking no field goal. That's why I was saying earlier. You go down there kick a field goal. Mahomes gonna be like, hold my beer.
Don't leave it safe for that team, man.
Hold my beer, but I got this.
Don't leave it safe for that team, man. None.
Hey, well, man, I appreciate you guys for coming on tonight. Man, it's been a great conversation.
Oh yeah.
Man, we'll be back next week. I may reach out to some of you guys to come on to be championship week. We already got the Packers in. We got the Bills in. We'll see who's going to be in tomorrow. And it should be great games tomorrow too. Tampa Bay and the Saints, and then the Chiefs and the Browns. I don't know who's the night game. Let me see.
Bucks.
Night game. Okay.
Bucks.
6:40.
Yeah, it'll be past
watching that.
Past both of their bedtimes, so they want to hurry up and get that wrapped up.
Yeah, I'm telling you, listen, they should have them at about 3 because
yeah.
You got no oxygen tank out there trying to help. You hit too late.
Right. But appreciate you, Locke, for coming on, man. First time, and you rocked out with us.
I'll definitely be on a lot more, man.
Definitely. Michael, great to get you on.
Bless.
All right, and Derrick, thank you for coming on too in the clutch.
Thanks.
All right, y'all have a good night. I do have a pre-recorded interview that I'm going to play with Mandel Leon. He was on earlier. He couldn't be on tonight, but he's a Browns fan, so I wanted to get him on. I said I would bring him back on again. So let me go ahead and play that. If you guys want to stick around and watch, or you guys can head out, whatever it may be.
All right,
yeah,
go Bucks. Yeah, hit me up, man.
Definitely. I'll hit you up again. Thank y'all for coming on.
All right, hit me up, man.
Later.
All right.
All right, man. Great conversation with the guys tonight. Definitely looking forward to having the guys on again too. Let me pull this up here. We did an interview earlier today, so I wanted to get him on. So let me do this. Let me share my screen so you guys can see it. Man, he is a ride or die Browns fan too. You know, some people are Browns fans and some people aren't. Some people are real faithful to their teams, and he is a ride or die. So I wanted to make sure that I did this and got him on. So let's go ahead and get right into this interview from earlier today. All right, so my bad. For some reason, y'all can't hear it. So hold on. My bad. Trying to do this sharing situation here. But let me bring it back up. Let me start it over. We live, so stuff like this happens sometimes. But let me pull it up here again. Make sure that I'm sharing the sound. That's probably the reason why I was not doing that. So let's do that again. Let me bring it back up at the beginning.
If you work in a team, Monday.com is a platform to manage any team and any workflow. work in a team,
All right, so I apologize. I thought this idea that I had would work out. I've tried it before and it did work, but for some reason it's not working now. So what I'm going to do, apologize to Mandelion, that should have worked. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to upload the video to YouTube so that you guys can watch that. I will make sure that I share it out on all of my social media, all of my pages. I apologize. It did not. I'm not sure what happened with the audio. Normally, when you share, it's supposed to share the audio as well, but for some reason it did not. So I'm going to add that as a separate interview. You'll be able to see it and hear it. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. Thank you for all the guests. Thank you for everyone that came on. I'll get that interview up as soon as this live is over. But thank you, everyone, for coming on tonight. Have a great morning or night whenever you're listening. And we got playoff games tomorrow. We'll be back on Monday with the Monday reaction. We'll be talking about the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League and another topic. So thank you, everyone, for coming on. And thank you, everyone, for joining in. Have a great night. Peace.